Sean Zattel, BoxingVoice.com. Very honored to be here with the legendary Jim Ross. Jim, was tonight's fight a slobber knocker worthy of that distinction?
Well, we had some good action. I thought, here's how I look at it. I'm certainly not a boxing expert. I never claimed to be, and I made it very public that I'm a boxing fan. But I am a broadcaster. I enjoyed broadcasting the fights. I look at things maybe differently than a boxing purist in as much as I look for effort. I look for guys that were engaging. They were ready to be physical, and the physicality was there. The emotion and the passion was there. These kids, after being with them Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, in the meetings and the weigh-ins, and seeing them at the hotel at the D, you almost get so close to them you don't want anybody to lose.
Right.
That's how good this group is. So, and the oldest guy on the card was 28. So everybody's young and hungry, and they got great goals and aspiration. So I looked at little things like that, and it was great. I had fun. We have three-man teams are challenging, no matter what you're doing. Football, boxing, wrestling, whatever it may be, MMA, three-man booths are challenging. But I thought for the first time that we had three. Sean Wheelock is a very bright guy, very talented, but he's a play-by-play guy, been doing color. He did great. And, of course, Kevin Kelly's a fighter turned broadcaster. And he's new with us. And me, I don't know what I am, but I'm not a boxing expert, but I had a great time doing what we did. So I had fun, and I hope everybody watched did. And I think that we have the potential to have a unique team going forward, and this is a unique concept.
Isn't it possible that like you said, you're more of a casual viewpoint, that could be very refreshing from the broadcast team? Because who knows, maybe jaded, maybe guys been around the sport too long. You can bring something we don't see, more so from the outside looking in.
Well, it's possible. It's possible. I try to think like a fan. So if I think like a fan, then I'm thinking like many of the viewers. And everybody, there's a lot of hardcore boxing purists. The first interview I did when I got this job, somebody interviewed me and they said, how many of these fights have you done? I said, well, not enough to make you happy, because I'm new in that regard. But I've been broadcasting 40 years. How long have you been doing what you do for a living type thing? Not you, but
no.
You know what I mean? So I come into it with a little bit of chip on my shoulder, but a nice chip, not a mean-spirited chip, but like, okay, I'm going to show you guys I can do this. And we took a step in that direction this first time, and I think that we got the opportunity to build a nice franchise here, because I know that the matchmaking concept is to get young, hungry guys that other experts, not me, but experts, perceive have significant upsides. And I think that's what we're going to try to exploit.
Isn't it possible you're underselling how much you know about boxing? Because I remember during those WWE pay-per-views you going, well, tonight, folks, you're not going to get a dud like Michael Grant and Lennox Lewis last night. And I think to myself, well, JR had to be watching the fights.
Oh, yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan, and I've been watching boxing on pay-per-views. And I was a kid, younger than you, when the Friday night fights were on with Don Dunphy. And he was the greatest ever doing boxing. Don Dunphy was just amazing. And the Gillette Super Blue Blades sponsored the fights every Friday night. So that was a fixture at my house. So every Friday night was pro boxing on prime time on one of the three networks that were airing. So it's been a part of my family. And my dad was a big boxing fan. And, he went crazy when Cassius Clay beat Sonny Liston of the Phantom Punch. And he just hated that. But my dad fell for the hype. My dad fell for what Muhammad Ali told me when we shared a hotel room. I figured I could make more money being booed and hated to see me lose than I could by me winning at that point in his career. So he's smart in the marketing. So I think we're going to market this the right way. We're not going to try to take away from the integrity of the sweet science, but I think we're going to be able to bring fans a fresh perspective of the outlook of how we present it. But the key thing, I think, will be the fighters themselves. So a lot of these kids, there's some big-time prospects here. Unless they self-destruct, which you never know, I think there's going to be some big players here. And they're young, so when we come back in May, you probably see some of the same kids on the next card trying to get another win.
Right.
So it's going to be a fun adventure for us.
I don't want to keep you too much longer, but these last two, I'm going to put them in one. Okay. Guys like Ali and Mayweather, aren't they just being great heels? Like we have in wrestling, heels and baby faces. Heels sell tickets too. And what do you want to accomplish now in this avenue of boxing? Eventually, wouldn't we all love to see good old JR calling the big MGM Grand pay-per-view fights?
Good old JR like that too. And that would be a wonderful opportunity. Everything's an opportunity. No matter how old we are, you can always gear up and fire up for a new opportunity. But understanding the psychology of some of these guys. These kids haven't been around long enough to develop that personality that you're talking about. They're not. None of them are Conor McGregor yet, where you either love him or you disdain him. You don't say hate. I'm not a big hate guy, but yeah, very polarizing. And so these kids are still trying to find what their personality is going to be. So now they're focusing on fighting and learning to fight, learning how to win, and how to respond to winning, how to respond to losing. So, but I saw some, again, being in the fighter meetings and in the same hotel with them, you kind of get a little different perspective than a more controlled environment. It's just relaxing. So when the guys fought, it was easy for me to prepare for tonight because I already worked on it before I got here, and then sitting with the kids was good. So I think we got great potential, and hope folks will come out. I think they see what good the fights were. The next time we're in Las Vegas, we'll pack this place.
Well, it's a beautiful thing to have one of the best commentators in the world a part of the sport. Thank you, Jim Ross, for your time. What an honor.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
You bet.
No other sight in the game could see the boxing voice.